In this episode of Dig In, I'm going to show you the top 6 tools that I use almost on a daily basis in my garden. The first one, of course, that any gardener is going to need is a pair of pruners. So pruners are, of course, extremely important. We use it to cut limbs, prune, harvest our vegetables. There's so many different uses for them. What I will tell you is there's a lot of inexpensive pruners out there on the market, and you can use a lot of different ones if you want, especially if you maybe leave them in the garden. That's why I like these, because sometimes I just need a cheap pair that if I happen to leave out in the yard and they rust, it's not the end of the world. But a good pair of bypass pruners is really what you want. Bypass are going to act like scissors and actually cut the limb rather than smashing it with an old anvil pruners. And if you're going to be doing lots of it, then I recommend Felco pruners. These are my Felco pruners F2. It's the best pruner out there. As you can tell, wear and tear on these guys. I use them all the time. I use them pretty much daily every time that I go out in the yard, and they've lasted and they cut like brand new. Even, I think these are 12 years old, so they get a lot of use and they keep on working. So get yourself a good pair of pruners, and if you really want to invest, get some Felco F2s. They're my favorite pruner out there. The next tool that I use all the time is a rake. Of course, there's lots of different types of rakes out there, but my favorite is the adjustable rake. You might not have seen this, but it's a super lightweight, very durable rake, and it's really cool because you can adjust the size of it. So what I like about this is I can expand it all the way out for raking leaves and debris out of my flower beds. And if I need to get in between shrubs, I can even make it smaller. So you can adjust the size. It works great for raking rock or sand or adding decorative elements when you're working out in the yard. It's so easy to use, and it packs away and stores very easily. And it's my go-to rake, the adjustable rake. You gotta get one. All right, the next tool might not be classified as a tool, is Super Thrive. Super Thrive is a vitamin supplement, and sometimes when you're working in the yard and you don't quite know what's going on with your plant, and maybe it's struggling a little bit and you're not quite sure why, you don't see an insect or disease issue, I always resort to Super Thrive. Sometimes feeding a plant, giving it a plant food, might actually cause the problem to become worse, especially if they're stressed out. This takes the stress off the plant, and sometimes when I'm not quite sure what it is, but I need to give my plant a little boost, I always resort to Super Thrive. It is the best thing out there. You mix a capful, small amount per gallon of water. It goes a long way, and you're gonna see the results pretty quickly with your tree, shrub, perennial, or annual, whatever you're using it on. It's an awesome vitamin supplement. I definitely recommend this. I always have this ready to grab and go in case I need it. The next tool that I always have handy to use when I'm out in the yard is an auger. Now this is what it looks like in the box. This is a power planter made by Power Planter. There's lots of different types out there. The reason I like this one is because it comes with a hex bit, which means it won't slip. Now you gotta watch your wrist, be careful with this thing, but it is the best tool when planting small plants. But there's also so many different uses for it. Planting bulbs, loosening up a soil mixture in a container that maybe has been sitting there for a while and you want to replant in it. You think it's good soil? Just mix it up with this guy. It is awesome. It comes in so handy, and I use it all the time. Planting bulbs, 4-inch annuals, 6-inch annuals. You can make the hole bigger. It is a great tool, and it's one that I use all the time. All right, the next tool that I want to tell you about is a little bit of a dual system tool here. Every plant needs water, so we're always watering the garden, so you're gonna need a hose and a way to get the water out of the hose and to the plant. And so the first thing I want to tell you about is the 0G hose. If you're thinking about getting a new hose, I definitely recommend this one. It's lightweight, it's durable, and it's just so easy to use around your landscape, home, around corners. Coils up nice and neat, and it's one of my favorite hoses to use. Now the next one is the Dram watering wand. There's lots of different ones out there. I love the Dram one because it comes with this really nice on and off valve, so I can turn the water on and off as I need it. And it also has this great breaker. And the breaker, what it does is stop the stream from coming out and washing the soil out of your containers, and it breaks it and makes it a nice kind of shower effect. Use this to save your back when watering hanging baskets, plants in the ground. It's the best #1 tool for getting the water right to where the plants need it at their root system. All right, last but not least is the weed slice. So, of course, hence the name, it slices weeds, it cuts them right out. Weeding is not a fun part of gardening, but this actually makes it kind of enjoyable. It makes it very easy. It's got this long handle so I can do it standing up. There's lots of different ways to weed, hand pulling, spraying, but if you just need something quick and cleared out so that you can plant or so that you can mulch, I always resort to the weed slice. It's a really, really effective way of getting those weeds out quick and effectively and easily. All right, so these are my top 6 tools that I use all the time around my home and in my landscape. Leave a comment below. Let us know what tools you use all the time to make the job easier, and we'll see you next time.